Alaska in the subtitle, and Alaska doesn't play well in New York. Think of that. Her Alaska, where beauty and danger color even the most ordinary day, would be almost enough, oh Lord, but not enough to get her to the 535, the National Book Awards. Believe me, there's more than Alaska here. A dark mythiness underlies Melinda Moustakis' first collection that is positively Attic, downright ancient Greek. In The Mannequin and Soldatna, which among many unforgettable stories from this book, is the one that I hear again and again has refused to leave the mind of a reader, almost as though it had attached itself by a fishhook. A woman doctor who works the emergency room in a small Alaskan city has set up a life-sized dummy in the hospital lobby. She adds a fishhook at the corresponding body part for every fishhook she removes from a human. At the eye, the ear, the hand, the breast. She replaces the mannequin from time to time when it's completely covered with fishhooks. The doctor is one of many tough women in this book. She is competent, brave, wry, a bit melancholy. Think of the work she does. And she withholds judgment even as she patches the innocent and the guilty. The story is so absorbing and so organically episodic, one fishhook after another, that not for a minute does its segmented architecture seem self-conscious or gratuitous. Meanwhile, in the same story, the author documents phase by phase, lyrically, yet with scrupulous science, the life cycle of the salmon. The stars, the sun and the moon make coordinates of refracted light. These and the smell of gravel guide them to the keen eye's mouth. Their skin glimmers like knives, and their meat turns red. After a heavy rain, the water rises, and they charge the river. They grow hooked snouts and wolves' teeth. In this world of wild beauty and predation, we, like the doctor, can't be surprised by acts of violence, some of them horrific, which the landscape, by its sheer emptiness, absorbs without even a shrug. The temperament of the Mannequin and Soldatna is austere, but that is only the first full story in this collection. It comes before we meet the particular families that inhabit the book, especially the children. They are not austere. They have so little, this ragtag bunch, which often goes without supper. One of them deaf, one a bit simple, growing up without toys or towns or stores, with almost nothing but the wilderness to entertain them. Small wonder that their desperate play with their mother as henchwoman includes looting a plane wreck in which people have been killed, or dangling upside down in a primitive privy, basically a hole in the ground full of human shit, to retrieve a baby eaglet that they forget all about the next day. This stunning debut collection won the Flannery O'Connor Prize for Short Fiction from the University of Georgia Press, and its stories have appeared widely in conjunctions, the Kenyon Review, New England Review, Massachusetts Review, and elsewhere. Please welcome Melinda Moustakis.
Thank you to everyone for coming, especially to my parents and my Kamal who came here, and to Jaimy. I'm going to read the short that begins this Lynch story collection about homesteaders and hunters and fishermen and fisherwomen. It's called Trigger, and then I'm going to read a short 2 pages from a story called What You Can Endure. Here's Trigger. You were conceived on a hunting stand, they say, which means we had no other place. The homestead is full of my mother's siblings. On the stove, a pot of potato chow big enough to feed 20. See my mother, back roughed against the wooden platform in the trees. See my father, finger on the trigger, in case. You have to gut a moose right away, they say, or the meat rots in its skin, which means we couldn't keep our hands off each other. The night of my making, my father shot a moose through the eye, through the skull and brain and bone, through to the other side. My mother found the red-tipped bullet in the summer dirt. They keep it on the mantle next to a sepia photo, them steering the rack of the dead bull. They say, you came into the world with a bang, which means do something to deserve us. Now I'm going to read a short section from What You Can Endure, which is one of my mom's favorite stories from the book. In my deep swimming dreams, my mother tells me I can't come home. Not for the things I have done, but for the things I haven't. There's a story she tells about my grandfather, Fox, leaving her at a hunting stand miles away from the homestead, alone, in the dark, when she was 8. No lantern or light in late September. Colleen, you're the oldest, he says. Find your way. She has a rifle. Behind every tree, another shadow or a bear. The woods so thick, no stars to follow. If anyone tells you to cut your hair, she says, it means they destroy beautiful things. Her father cut her hair for years, hacked above the shoulders with the bluntness of practicality. His jagged cuts marked his return from Korea, from working on the slope in Prudhoe Bay. She never wore her hair short when she had a choice. She let it grow down her back, black and straight, or in a braid. She makes me feel the top point of her skull where there is a dent the size of a poker chip. You have it too. Your brother doesn't. I have this mark and you have this mark, and we were once whales. When I dream about my mother, I dream of whales. She says she didn't love me when I was born. It took time. She needed to know I would live, survive, prove to her I was strong enough. I was 4 years old before she knew. She had fallen asleep on the couch after putting me down for a nap. I crawled out of the bed and found her only tube of red lipstick and painted my naked body, a toddling flame, rolled across her white rabbit fur rug, over and over again, rolled across the walls, her bed sheets. A little warrior, she says, a goddamn mess of a comet. God is more of a whale than a man, she says. Here, the blood washes up on the shore and melts the ice. My bare feet are tinged and lapped with red. The cold snow, the blood warm and pooling from the whale's belly. They have stripped the skin and a layer of fat with chainsaws. A whale out of the ocean is a mountain, a horizon, a different bend of sky. Did you wash your hair, she says? It's as slick as cod liver oil, which is the worst thing. A spoonful she had to choke down either before or after a dinner of rabbit stew or moose chili. Once she found a bottle of her father's cod liver capsules hidden in a cabinet, Fox's secret stash for himself. He didn't want to down a spoonful of the god-awful tasting stuff, but he made us kids do it, she says. I washed my hair, I say. I don't believe you, she says. But she braids it anyway. Her braids are never straight or neat. They are frayed and wild, and I don't dare undo them. We are crossing Chittenden Bay on a fishing boat. The cousins and I huddle in the cabin and wait for the Coast Guard to pass. We have too many people on the boat. Then they are shouting, come up, a whale. We scramble to the deck. A humpback shoots out of the water, twisting in the air, white fins raised to the sky, gray back slamming into the water. My uncles are hollering and spilling their beer on the crowd of us. Another whale breaches, leaps up from under the boat, belly and arm's length from the rail. We all shrink back, me holding on to the hood of my mother's jacket. But she has a hand out, reaching and then brushing the white belly of the falling whale, the splash soaking her. My uncles net the floating bottles they threw overboard in their celebration. Touch your eyes, she tells me. That's what it feels like. Thank you.